Welcome everyone. Today we have a new Bazaar build guide, and today we'll be looking at an OTK 110 kill rush deck with 10 out of 10 perfect wins with Vanessa. Yes, this is actually one of my first ever gameplay, and I was able to do this. You can see that most and majority of the fight, this particular Shuriken is one-shotting every neutral boss monsters and also every player in the row. Of course, this is a rush deck, so in the later stage when players have more HP, this can be a little difficult. So I do recommend you to, understand the concept of the build as I go through the video. And of course, I'm still new to the game, so there's definitely rooms and also tons of improvement for this particular setup. But once I share the general idea with you guys, you got to see it. So over here, we're pretty much one-shotting the player before he's able to act with about 10 shurikens in one row. And this gives me my first ever 10 out of 10 perfect wins. It did take some randomness of lucky rolls with item enchantment and also item selection, but you can see my deck is not optimized. And even with this basic deck, I was able to do tremendous damage. So briefly, let's have a look at the build that I finished with the 10 rounds with. And again guys, this is a rush early deck for early winnings. In the later stage, you expect to have stronger items because players after day 10 will be much stronger. We'll talk about the days in terms of mechanics in a future video. So here I have the Shark Claws, basically just gives my other weapons 20 damage, which is not bad, just to give the shurikens about 200 damage because it's 10 shurikens. This hand axe gives my shuriken plus 6 damage, again very basic items that I didn't get to upgrade. This is a big factor for the build. I am using strength potion to give my other items 100% critical chance for 3 seconds, and the timing is perfectly synced that the shuriken, that my main weapon, will be able to cast after 7 seconds. And this gradient doesn't do much. This torpedo doesn't do much, just in case I fall short on damage, this can deal some additional damage. Now this one, Heavy Cannonball, gives us 3+ ammunition, and this is all in preparation for the shuriken that's about to come. So here we have the shuriken, the Obsidian Shuriken or the upgraded shuriken. This shuriken has the potential to do massive damage because this uses all the ammunitions with multicast. So here I have boosted its ammunition by 10, and this allows me to deal 340 damage times 10 and then 100% critical hit because of the potion that gives us 100% critical chance. So effectively in 8 seconds, I'm doing over 6,000 to 7,000 damage with all the weapon damage boost. And you can see here this weapon is enchanted with a damage buff, which gives a lot of bonus damage. And finally, the Heavy Silencer just gives us a little more bonus damage. Nothing too major. And you can see that was enough to defeat the early game players. So let me go through with you guys how exactly, this build came to play. And I do want to share the potential of high rolling with Vanessa. So again, guys, there is some pretty lucky RNG in this deck, but you need a bit of luck for perfect win, and I think this is a great rush deck OTK. Now just to show you guys, if you want the other great OTK, this is my other build I want to share with you guys. This is a mega shield build that I just played today after a few testing. I was one-shotting players with 20,000 damage for the ultra late game, and this is a multicast. There's one more damage that's coming, so I was effectively hitting over to 45 to 50,000 damage with a late game OTK. So let's have a look at this build first, one at a time. So once I start Vanessa, if you saw my previous guide video, we talk about what is the best starting point. And for Vanessa, I definitely don't recommend getting additional income. I will recommend getting the starting talent for a safe bet. So income, I don't recommend. Enchantment is actually a very, very random jackpot hit and miss. So the gold tier skills are usually safer, but here, just to test things out, I tried the enchantment on my second ever gameplay for this game. So just to show you guys over here, I decided to take the enchantment over here, and this just to see what is available. And by my fortune, RNG just has blessed us. So I'm looking at each of the weapons, what are the enchantment for each of those. And just by, sheer fortuneness, I was able to get this one. Let me move the replay a little bit to show you guys. I was able to get the Obsidian Shuriken to be enchanted with a double damage buff. this is the best case scenario. You can get the double critical chance, but that is not as powerful as the double damage buff. You can't really see how powerful this is at the moment because this is the tier 1 weapon that is not upgraded. But even if you don't have this particular buff, I'll show you guys a gameplay of how to play without this particular enchantment. But of course, I want to show you guys the best potential with RNG. Then I'll show you guys another replay without this particular enchantment. So, Obsidian Shuriken, but with damage buff. So, well, the game is quite smooth now. So I'll be able to get my early game economy is like going for that abandoned jungle, and just keep in mind this is my second ever gameplay of this game. So some choices might not be optimal, and I have been looking around for a lot of certain choices. So of course I do recommend going with the class specialty, and this allows you to get certain items that can really help you to boost your early game and also some good weapons. In terms of the neutral monsters, nothing too special. I went for the wolf just for a potential chance of getting pelts or weapons, and I wasn't going for a burn build. And usually with a neutral fight, you don't really have a problem. So I was able to get a weapon, which is not bad. And again, I went for a bit of economy because I think I have the early game sorted. Now, I am getting a lot of buffs that provides me with my particular weapon focus. And of course, the weapon focus is going to be the Shuriken. So any particular skill that gives you critical chance, anyone that gives you critical damage, or just I guess damage in general is going to be very welcome. And again, in terms of selection to the items, and over here I did select the Lost Crit. I could select the other merchant that sells us buffs, which in hindsight could have been good. This is a YOLO build. So yes, I did go with, again, another random skill, and just fortunate enough, it was able to upgrade this. So this is definitely a high roll case, but you can kind of focus on buffing the Shuriken as much as you can. Fighting other players in the early stage gave us tons of advantage, simply because we had enough weapons to do the minimum damage, and the Shuriken itself can finish most players off. And that just allows me to take advantage of this. Now do notice the Shuriken only have one shot, and after that, unless you're able to reload, you will not be able to use the Shuriken. So you're one trick pony. And if you don't kill the enemy fast enough, you need some spare weapons to do the follow-up damage, as you can see. This actually came really close. I was like 1 damage away from dying to lose my perfect streak. So as we keep going with the build, let's have a look what we found. I was actually checking the settings. And yes, I checked the resume function. Apparently you can resume in the game, yes. And of course, I went for some small items. One of the reasons to go with a small item vendor is that you can find the Shuriken. The Obsidian Shuriken comes in small and also in weapons and also in ammunition. Those are the 3 merchants you're really looking for. You want to upgrade this item, and ideally you want to find increased ammunition in terms of skills and also items that boost the ammunition of this item while buffing its damage. Now you can see I'm just picking some random items and also some random small items, and of course whatever item that can buff my Obsidian Shuriken, I'll be giving it to my unit. Again, you can go for weapons, and here I did go shop for additional weapons. Let's have a look over here. Oh yes, I did find the Shuriken, so perfect upgrade. Now the upgrade itself is not the biggest factor, but you can see that upgrading from the bronze tier to the next tier, I believe we got 1 more ammunition, which means a pretty hefty boost of damage. And of course, keep in mind, you want to make sure your Shuriken is placed correctly, not like me over here, and make sure it's all placed correctly so it enjoys the skill buff that is a massive factor for the damage boost. And of course, the replay itself is a little slow, so I'm fast forwarding a little bit because first ever game, but learning as I play the game. Against most of the neutrals, it is straightforward. I'm really looking for the actual critical chance boost item over here, or the damage boost item over here, that we can upgrade our weapon. Let's see if we were lucky for that. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we did get the critical chance item. So this one can give your Shuriken 10% more critical chance, or you can be getting the damage boost. That is also great. In terms of fighting items, I'm really looking for anything in particular that can boost my economy. I'm trying to get something a little forward in the later stage, and this is a lucky job for the gold bar. I'm recommending getting the full gold if you can. Again, we want something that can help us with the economy, and that's what I'm trying to go for. Now we're fast forwarding a little bit. getting the crits, getting additional items. So the game itself is pretty much in motion because I have had the advantage of getting the right items, buffing the items, and preparing myself for each stage. Now, why do I say this is an early game build? Is that the Shuriken's damage is very big when players are in the lower days. When players get to higher days, and I can't afford to lose. Once I start to lose, I will face players with too much armor, too much regeneration, or too much health for me to break through in terms of one shot. So ideally, you want to keep rolling with the Shuriken. And here, coming over to the armor merchant is actually a biggest factor upgrade for this build. The ammo merchant will give you the crucial item that gives you additional ammunition and also chance to upgrade your Shuriken, of course. Let's have a look. And blessed by RNG, of course, we're able to find the cannonball, and this gives me additional ammunition. Upgrading this one gives you 1, 2, 3, or 4 additional ammunition, which is massive. Of course, we're just reading the items, having a look what else is available, and nothing else too special. And one of the ways, I guess, I did buy some random stuff, keep in mind. One of the things, because I had better economy, I was trying things out. I was trying to see if I can reload the Shuriken, but it turns out it wasn't the best idea to reload it because it was only getting 1 ammunition. So focus on one-shotting instead of getting the reloads because you probably won't have time for the second round just with 1 ammunition. Any weapon that provides you with bonus damage is welcome in the early stage, and here I'm just juggling my items so they have the best speed in terms of adjacent items. As we keep going, getting a bit of gumbos. I'm actually learning the game, so I've actually bought a lot of random stuff. Getting a bit of gumbos and getting some increased health is good. You want to survive until you get your Shuriken shot. And, oh yes, a lot of gumbos. Buff your items, and then let's come over to the fights. Now, the fight itself is pretty straightforward, not that my Shuriken always have enough damage to defeat the enemy, but for the cases that it did not, let's have a look over here. So, the Shuriken did get a recharge, and guys, in some ways this recharge actually provides us with crucial damage we needed, but hopefully we can swap out of it. You don't want to wait the second round for another 8 seconds for the recharge. And let's keep going. I'm gonna look for some random items. I need my combos. And fast forward a little bit. I want to fast forward to the point that, yes, upgrading item is great. You always want to focus on upgrading your ammunition item together with your Shuriken. And this will give us the biggest upgrade. So here it goes from 1 to 2. And this allows you to, higher potential of one-shotting. Chocolates are good. Again, you're focused on offensive damage in terms of defensive damage. So let's have a look over here in terms of the fights. Here we're facing a player with 600 health, with just barely enough to take him down. And yes, I did have chocolates on my board. And over here, that was just enough damage to take him out. So in terms of the rest of the items, something defensive, something offensive. Again, you want to focus on getting as much offense as you can for the build. I want to show you guys when the build actually came to steadiness. Actually, fast forward a little bit over here. So here, I'm going for the small merchant. Again, we're looking for a lot of small items that can buff our item, above the Shuriken. So one of the biggest small upgrade is actually finding a small potion, finding a small Shuriken, or finding small items that buffs your items. So let's have a look over here. Now, can we forward? Did I pause it? Let's have a look. Okay, I think I was just reading the items are taking a little more time. And here is one of the items I want to highlight. So here is a strength potion. It is a small item. You can also buy it from the potion vendor. And this item is essential. It removes the need for me to ever have critical chance on my item because I'm only here for one-shotting, and it's potential I get more ammunition on this item, but it's not the biggest game changer. So this item is greatly in sync with your Shuriken. If you find this item, put it down, and now your Shuriken will naturally have a 100% critical chance. And all you have to do is focus on getting its damage instead of getting, additional critical, right? So that is great. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. You can see me juggling around now that I don't need the crits anymore, which is a little silly. So let's not bore you guys too much, because again, this is my pretty much my first or second ever game. So you can see there's some mistakes to be made. Here I didn't even place all the items. But again, the Shuriken is just enough to take down most enemies. And that's what you want to achieve. We're not here for additional damage for this particular build. I'll show you guys what happens if you shot down damage. This is one of the items I really like to give me a secondary damage in terms of if Shuriken's not enough, the Torpedo comes in with a pretty sizable damage, especially when it is also in sync with a critical potion. So let's fast forward a little bit as I learn the stats of those items. I actually didn't buy the Torpedo, did I? I think I bought, right? Yeah, I think I got the Torpedo. Yeah, there we go. So I'm buffing my Shurikens, getting it to be the highest boosting damage ever, and while the Torpedo itself will provide a good secondary damage. Let's have a look at the fights. So what's going to happen is the critical potion is going to activate pretty much on sync and a little faster. So once the critical potion activates, now because it's also a charge item, it gives more damage to the Torpedo, and then the Shuriken activates, the Torpedo gains damage and also follow up with some decent boost of damage if it gets the hit. And this means I have a follow-up of damage. And should I not have enough damage from the Shuriken, the Torpedo is in sync to deal that bonus damage. Now I think the fight is pretty much straightforward. In terms of straightforward is that I can pretty much one-shot anything, and I'm just trying to get my weapons to get even high damage while looking for small items that boost my team's damage. Of course, the armor machine recharge again is not the biggest deal. I think at one stage I realized, I guess, I was doing enough damage to one-shot other players. So here I decided, again, we're trying to get more damage for the one-shotting. So the 20 bonus damage over here translates into 20 times 8, which is about 160 bonus damage coming from this claw. Very bare minimum, but just something that is enough for the combo. Here, I'll show you guys over here. So one of the reasons we keep winning for this early rush deck is because on each of the days we're facing weaker or the weakest player possible, because this such an early day. This is day 6. So my damage is enough to one-shot. Let's have a look what happens. It's a different setup very soon. So I think once the game gets into this stage, it actually plays by itself. The potion and also the combo just is enough to one-shot any player on those days. So pretty much in summary, you get lucky with your enchantment, and if you don't get lucky with your enchantment, then you can still get the enchantment through enchantment events and also through the last chance before you die. You can get the damage enchantment onto the Shuriken, and that is what allowed me to really sail through on this first ever playthrough. Now, again, we're going to face a lot of other players. Now, to show you guys what happens when we face the players, you can see on day 7, most players have about 1800 to 2000 HP, and the Shuriken itself deals more than 2000. So this Shuriken itself is dealing way higher damage because of the critical chance. So it's 500 per hit and it's 8 hits, so that's 4000 damage. My damage is more than enough to deal with any player around that stage, and this continues. Even with NPCs and things, this continues to be a massive factor. So here we've got the enchant items. Now I do want to remind you guys, I made this mistake in the past. If you have an enchanted item, if you enchant it again, it will replace the current enchantment. I've actually ruined some good items because of that. I didn't know you couldn't have 2 enchantment. So yes, make sure you be careful with enchantments. If you have an enchanted item, try to not enchant it again, because that can destroy the current enchantment. Luckily, during this time, I didn't know about this. So this is not bad. At the start of the fight, slow 2 items for 4 seconds, just so we can get our damage in. Anything that can provide my Shuriken with more damage is very welcomed. And just to show you guys here, I'll buff the Shuriken. I'm gonna fight a neutral monster that is Diamond. Just to show how powerful the build is. It is incredible. We one-shot everything all the way to the end. Now, I'll show you guys the final fight. Yes, I think we shot the final fight at the very start. So the build itself is a pure rush deck with a high roll RNG that started with an enchanted item. Now, how practical is this build? I wouldn't say this is something you can get all the time. So this is why I come over to the second replay. And yes, guys, I'll have both replays available for you guys to have a look. And this, I think, will be more helpful than just me talking through and fast forwarding everything. So here is what I mean by having a less RNG based. So here I'm not going to go for the enchanted item, which is very low chance for you to get the Shuriken enchanted. But I want to show you guys what happens when you go for gold tier skill. Now there's some really great gold tier skills, and usually I go for the weapon skills. And here, this is a scaling skill that can provide us with a lot of health. So, I was like, why not? Let's go for this. In terms of the early game, I want to go with economies. Going into the jungle actually gives me some nice items. Oh, actually I went for this one. Sometimes I go into the jungle for just the gold. And here we got the monkey. The monkey is nice, and I do find neutral monsters that I can just fatigue them down. In terms of the very early game, I think I went with some Bazaar choices. I think over here, let me show you guys over here. So I went with the mushrooms. I think I went with additional income. Yes, I like to build my economy for the early game. And in terms of the neutrals, let's have a look. In terms of the skills, I think, oh, the critical chance is probably good. Because I don't think for this round I actually found my actual, my actual critical potion. So I had to rely on critical chance. And of course, in the early game, I actually lose pretty badly because I don't have the right items. And you can see, this is the opposite of the win streak and also the lucky high rolls, right? I'll be trying to get as much value as I can. And because we had a friend, remember, if you have a friend going to the mystery guy, you can get a skill. And those skills are pretty good. So here, get some critical chance, again, boosting my economy. And fighting the weakest neutral monster so I can tick them down with the fatigue is good for a weaker early game start. Looking for small items again. Let me show you guys over here. Nothing too good. We're just getting some basic items so we get rolled. And again, I'm looking for the Shuriken if I can. I want to show you guys when is the time I found the Shuriken. The borrow part. That's a bit interesting. I was like, let's try borrow. So one of the reasons I tried borrow is I never really tried borrow before, and I think maybe getting some early economy may be the best way to go because this is a very bad start. Oh, actually, happened to win this one. So it turns out the monkey's damage buff with the attack of those items that is getting buffed was just enough with a crit to take him down. So I don't want to lose too badly in early game because later stage you'll face a lot stronger players. Again, we're looking for small items, and the cannonball is a big upgrade if I get my Shuriken, which I did. So yes, finding small item NPC is one of the best ways to force this build. I tried to show you guys on the first ever video, but we never had the luck. But here we got the luck. So yes, I found my Shuriken. Now I just have to place my Shuriken correctly next to the right items, and then we get a damage boost. This is a very weak Shuriken now. Now, one thing I do want to highlight, if you preserve your items in your stash and then you actually use those items for future value sales. So here, the small items can sell for 1 additional value. And that is something you can play around with the economy. And I check how many small items I have to see if it's worth it. But if you don't have enough, then getting a skill is always nice. But you can get a bad skill. So this is, again, a random roll. Now here I do want to mention, usually you want to go for the silver tier because this is the medium difficulty, but here the straight gamer can be a very difficult fight if you can't break through his shield. So I recommend going for a weaker neutral if you happen to be on this stage. I found this particular challenging. You notice here, with my shurikens, I could not break the shield. And now I'm kind of doomed. My only saving grace is the monkey with a bonus damage buff. And the Shuriken did not do enough. So the straight gamer almost had me. And I've had fights which I lost to the straight gamer. So I do want to warn you guys. Oh, I did lose the straight gamer. What am I saying? So yes, for this actual fight, we lost the straight gamer. And that is pretty terrible, right? Because I lost experience, I lost gold, and I also lost loot. But regardless, we're going to keep playing. And I want to show you guys what I'm going for. We have additional damage for the weapons. It's always nice. And then finding small NPCs to find my crucial upgrades and also finding more shurikens. Let's have a look here, nothing too special. We're gonna look at those items. Now here we have the chance of upgrading items. Of course, we will be going for my shuriken, I believe. Is that what I did? Oh, this is a bronze upgrade. So I was looking for whatever bronze item I can upgrade. I think I went for the monkey. Yeah, the monkey is okay. But the downside for the monkey is the monkey actually doesn't provide us with bonus damage to the shuriken. Simply because the monkey have 10-second casting time, while the shurikens are 8 seconds. So that is awkward. Now the shuriken is positioned to the far right for all the skill bonuses, for bonus damage and also critical chance. Again, the current build is not enough to one-shot because this shuriken is not enchanted with a damage buff. And this is where the monkey and also fast attacking other weapon comes in handy. So this is to prepare for the early game. We'll be going forward, trying to get some weapons. And again, nothing too special. You can see the choices of the skills we had to boost the damage. I want to show you guys when do I find the torpedo. I think that is a great upgrade. So here, buffing your shuriken wherever you can is always a way to go. So here, I did find the torpedo around here, right? Yes. I found the torpedo on this merchant. I'm actually really liking this merchant. So after buffing the item, let's have a look at this merchant. I tend to stack up in a lot of small items, and this merchant, oh, was it here? Yes. So this merchant provides you with small to it sells medium to large items, but it buys small items. So I tend to come over to this merchant and try to look for something like the sniper or the torpedo. The sniper is actually very fun as well. I'll try to show you guys another build. The torpedo itself, because I'm using a lot of ammunition items, and I can boost the torpedo's ammunition. Because the torpedo usually comes with 1 ammunition, and I already have a natural item that boosts its ammunition. Now it has 4 ammunition. And that deals very hefty damage. So as a secondary supporting damage for this build, I like the torpedo. So you can see the torpedo's damage. And it follows up with even high damage. And this also boosts with even more ammunition item that is used. So the secondary damage is enough for me to start winning the fights now. Now, as we keep going, and you can see I'm getting some chocolates. Want to survive long enough, and also some item that can boost my gear. So now notice I've changed my items towards more ammunition items to boost the torpedo's damage. While still keeping the monkey, I'm slowly getting item that also buffs the shuriken. And eventually I think I took out the monkey because it wasn't getting enough value out of it. So, what is a good demonstration of the stage? So notice that both of those items, not only those items buff the shuriken, it also buffs the torpedo. It's not the most ideal setup, I would say, but it is something that is not bad. So let's have a look at this one. What is the next upgrade? So next upgrade is actually, let me have a look. So the Captain's Well is not bad, especially when you can use this one to boost the damage of your items. I do believe I kept the Captain's Well for a little bit just to boost the damage, and I actually took down the claw because I realized I wanted to fast forward my shuriken to see if I can one-shot. Now if I can't one-shot, of course I'll change the setup. Upgrading our items, getting the shuriken to gold tier. Let's have a look at this. So again, juggling the items around a little bit, as you can see. Let's have a look at the fights. The shuriken should ideally give me some bonus damage, and then the torpedo follows up. It did not quit. Not enough quits. So now that the shuriken's out of power, look at the torpedo's damage. Oh, I didn't do enough. So the torpedo actually should be the faster one. So here I'm trying to upgrade my items again. Nothing too special in terms of item upgrade because our weapons also comes in. Oh, let's have a look at this one. I think, what did I upgrade over here? Yeah, nothing too special. I think the burn item with the 25% critical chance is nice, but I don't have a burn item, you see. That is the awkward part, and I did find a very powerful sniper. Now, I'll show you guys a game with sniper. It is very good, but for this game, I was running too many weapons to make use of the sniper. So, let's fast forward a little bit. I don't think that is the best demonstration. Okay, this is the nice scaling part that comes in. So, the wanted poster will provide us with critical chance. Our build wants critical chance to one-shot, and this will give us a lot of damage and also potential to scale in terms of having additional experience. And yes, I try to fit wanted poster in. Very greedy over here. Enchantment. Let's have a look what enchantment was this one. Enchant with slow, enchant with haste. I think enchanting with haste is not bad, and you want to enchant the item that is tend to buff in between the items. So here I enchanted the item with cannibal. Of course, I'm still learning the game. This might not be the best choice, but it's pretty good. So this one, start off the fight, it hastes both items on both sides because this buffs the side items. So it kind of works in sync of the item's purpose. Let's have a look at the fight after we buff the items, higher critical chance with even quicker speed. So, we still can't achieve the one-shot potential, but the torpedo itself is gonna do enough follow-up damage, hopefully, for me to have a better chance. Now, with a better crit, this should be enough. There you go. So it shows you that if you're running a Shuriken without the right enchantment, you can still use the torpedo for follow-up damage. It does some decent damage in most stages of the game. And here I got to upgrade my wanted poster, so even better scaling. I'll fast forward a little bit to show you guys the setup on the next day. Ooh, what happened here? What happened to my items? I think I messed up. I think I sold... Oh, okay. So let me show you what happened here. This is an interesting and awkward arrangement. So I was at a merchant. And over here, I was at a merchant to buy critical items. So I want to show you actually the actual item NPC. Because I think that is a big game changer if I've done it correctly. But I actually made a mistake here. So while looking for NPCs, I'll recommend going with a crit NPC because this actually can potentially give you some really powerful items. The crit NPC looks like a... It's an aimbot. Now the crit NPC can give you some very powerful item for the mid to late game. The start chart is nice with the cooldown reduction plus the critical chance, and this can be a very good item. Both of the other items don't do much. So one of the bigger upgrade is actually Swashbuckle. This will give your adjacent item critical chance and then amplify its damage by the critical chance by a percentage. So the higher critical chance you have, the higher percentage damage you have. So Swashbuckle is a massive upgrade. Now the downside is the Swashbuckle costs too much gold. It is a diamond here, which is too good for me. And this is the awkward part. Now here I should have tried to keep my wanted poster, but I don't have enough gold to keep my wanted poster. In the end I oversold. So notice here, because I oversold the items, I actually ran out of item. I was just one gold short to keep my wanted poster. Let's have a look at the Swashbuckle. So with the Swashbuckle, we were able to almost one-shot the enemy player. Not enough. So here is something interesting. I want to show you guys this because one way of getting enchantment is before you die, you can get a boost of enchantment. I got a heal, which is not great because we are not really healing. And the second one we got poison. So unfortunately we didn't get the damage, we didn't get the crit. So with the Swashbuckle, if you get critical percent, double the critical chance, this also doubles your weapon's damage pretty much. And if you get the double damage, it's even better. But unfortunately we got nothing great. So I decided to go with the poison. Because I don't think I was going to win a war with healing, right? So, very unfortunate for this round, I did not get the right critical or damage boost for my last saving grace of the fight. Because if I gotten that, my build would have been much stronger. Now, it is optional, here I want to mention. So, I want to try to show you guys, I think I was able to get the increased ammo mission. Once my ammo mission has increased, I no longer need the torpedo to be next to the increased ammo mission item. I put a torpedo next to the Swashbuckle, so it boosts both of the Shuriken and also the torpedo, which seems to be a good thing. And on the positive side is that the boosting speed of the Shuriken will guarantee the torpedo gets a buff. So the 2 armor mission items will gain the speed buff coming from the enchantment, and also they get more armor mission. And then the torpedo is now trying to do a one-shotting potential after all the item has casted. I was about to kill this NPC pretty fast. So let's go have a look at the players. In terms of fights, because we're pretty much on last leg, we're gonna get whatever buffs we can find. And sorting out items a little bit, let's have a look at the fights. So here, we're facing a day 11 player. And even though his health is low, I don't want to get into the poison and those regions coming from Mark. So let's say if we can one-shot with a Shuriken. We got really close. We actually one-shotted. So Swashbuckle plus the crits is pretty hefty. And if we did not one-shot, the next torpedo, which is about to in-sync, is gonna do 1000 physical damage, and I believe it's gonna do the 1000 poison damage, which is also a good damage boost. Looking for additional items, nothing too special. I got more critical chance for the Swashbuckle, which is always good. So here the Swashbuckle provide critical chance to the most important 2 items, then additional 15% critical chance, and here another, I think the friend give us another 15% critical chance. So in terms of critical chance, we're doing really well. Let's have a look at the fights. So always try to one-shot enemy players, and that was enough. Sorting out my items, getting the buffs. I think, of course, we can upgrade the item. So here, this is a choice. I want to one-shot, so I went for the Shuriken. But for something stable, I think I can go with the torpedo as well. Again, getting some bonus buffs. Let's look at the fights as we go. So here, facing Mark again. Now, our fight is very dependent on the critical hits. If we don't get a critical, then if we don't one-shot, then the fight's over. So he's focused on poison. So because of the haste, we get the actual Shuriken to be going, but because he has so much regen, this is quite scary. Now this is when it comes in. The follow-up damage from the Swashbuckle, the follow-up damage because of the Swashbuckle critical chance and the torpedo with a massive crit prevented him out healing me and just destroying me in the next few rounds. He was getting much more heal, and I wasn't liking that. Let's fast forward a little bit. I think most of the fights is as we predicted. So, Shuriken goes, followed by the torpedo. I didn't even need the torpedo. And additional skills. In terms of skills, usually Diamond tier can't go wrong, but you want to go with critical skills whenever you can. So the high critical chance with Swashbuckle is pretty much free damage. And you can go over 100% critical, and that just means you get even higher damage. Unfortunately, we don't have just one weapon. So let's see, what did I pick? I don't think I picked a good one, right? So the first time I use the item, haste aquatic item. So this is a little questionable because, I mean, it's good, but I don't want to desync my torpedo. But eventually I picked that. Looking for some items. Looking for more items. This is a hit or miss. So this is really nice. Because we got the gloves, we got some bonus damage for my Shuriken. Let's have a look at the fights. Now, this is concerning. Because we're day 13, the enemy players tend to have a lot of health, and our build is focused on one-shotting. So this is when the build starts to fall off a little bit, simply because I didn't get the damage buff on my Shuriken, and then I wasn't able to do enough follow-up damage. And this is how they got me. So, and also he's got a very powerful build. This build itself is actually one of the strongest I've seen. And I am planning to learn this build. So it shows you that I was about to get 8 out of 10. I'm about to go to the next fight. But this player was way stronger with the additional combo. So he had a legendary that gave obsidian to other items. He literally turned an item that is not obsidian into obsidian and then destroyed me. So let me show you guys a legendary. Restorative Darkstone Engine. This will give the non-enchanted item with obsidian for the fight. And because he enchanted with obsidian, it's actually getting blue. The piano actually did 3,800 damage to me. Yes, this is a piano that provide haste for adjacent items. And just to show you guys again, I thought this is pretty cool. I am planning to learn the build whenever I can, but this is a little dependent on the actual legendary. So very situational build, and this actually stopped my build in its track. Let's look at the fights again. I think I did that as a replay. I keep reading what he had. So let's have a look what happens in the fights. Just to have a look. Let's see. It is rather deadly, the actual build combo. So in the beginning of the fight, he's gonna enchant with obsidian, and now magic happens. I believe the friends were triggering so many times and the damage racked up so quickly. I was not prepared for. I'm still yet to learn the actual combo, but it is powerful. So I have this replay available for you guys to have a look. Again, you can see that I made multiple mistakes in the second round. I lost to a neutral round, I didn't get the best combination of enchantment, and also my item and also gold wasn't optimized. Even with that, I came with 8 wins on this particular Shuriken build. So what I'll do is, I'll provide you guys with both replays to show you guys the lucky OTK one-shot and also the second follow-up with the Shuriken build, with a bonus of the player that ran the Obsidian build in the last part, which you can see whatever tools and also item he had. So to finish it off, I would say this Vanessa Shuriken with Torpedo build is a very solid early to mid-game build, but once you go to the much later game, unless you get the right enchantment, right items, you might fall a little short on damage. And stay tuned for the future videos, which will show you guys how to beat players in the late game. No matter how much health they have, you'll be able to one-shot them with the merchant over here. So here what I do is, I'll have the replays for you guys to have a look as well.
can I get you? I used to offer a free ride home, but people thought it was weird. I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
Don't worry, mate. I'll look out for you. Good on you. But I'd take a few more clips. Don't go out at night round here, even with this on you.
faster than lightning!
Take your time. I'm pretty laid back. Oh, delivery's free. I like the exercise. Kev does good work. We keep each other sharp. The fire softens before it strengthens. Remember that.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
The smaller the portions, the finer the meal. healthy nor wise, huh?
The merfolk will not settle for the sea. We want the world! The Deep King will avenge me. I know he will.
My training is about letting go of what holds you down. Think you're ready for that? Let's both keep learning. Maybe someday we'll teach each other.
If you can't be the fastest shot, be the fastest.
Wars are won with gold, they say.
If you ever head out to the dunes, tell them Dusky Colt sent you. See you later. Of course I can help you, but only if you'll help yourself.
Who sent you? That cretin, Harrow. A Gorgon always pays her debts.
How do you hugelings use these things? On behalf of the Grand Society of blah blah blah, bye! Truly a tool of the gods! Buy from Barcoon instead. He actually cares about this.
Wars are won with gold, they say.
There's fun size, and then there's boring size. Midsworth says I have to trade even when I don't care. I'll take it, I guess. I only sell things so I can buy things. Huge things!
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
My people believe in peace. Boring! Well, I guess motivation isn't everything.
In its deep ruins, their power waits. At last, we are free.
Hey, if it's about the gold, Pip is affordable. Cute kid, too. Thanks for trusting me. I hope we can do this again.
You rely too much on reality. In reality, there's no such thing. Change it? Me? It was already like that.
Few warriors live to retire. Buy my weapons, and you might.
Wars are won with gold, they say.
Use it well. Make me proud. Peaceful teaches stillness. I prefer action.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
Oh, hello. I mean, welcome to my business. I'll never resell this. This is a gift at any price. Oh, it's like a baby bird that nested in my mother. Oh, Wordsworth is gonna yell at me.
We're sorry. The Bazaar is too valuable to be left ungoverned at this time. If this is a bad time, I can come back tomorrow.
I will not train you to kill. I will train you to live. You learn skills quickly, but it takes patience to master them.
Ice quiets all noise, stills all violence. Ice is peace. That should cool their hot tempers.
Hope you packed a change of clothes, because you're gonna get dirty. That looks like the Cretaceous era?
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
I will leave you alive to learn the lesson. Just behind the veil. My family waits for me. There's two kinds of people. Rich and stupid. Finally! Someone with taste around here.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
My dreams are too big for you to steal. Well, I'll admit, that was impressive.
Small things remind me of seeds, acorns, home. Oh, look. It's so tiny. Am I even a master?
We will take your body. Escape this nightmare. No more of this. Please.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist. I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
I won't fight that war anymore, but I'll teach you how. All that bluster, she just leaves.
You don't have time not to buy this.
Who I am does not matter. Only what I offer. A longer life is not always a gift.
I should warn you, I am unlike other Jabarians. Next time, I'll show you what I learned from this.
on a boat. Whole bunch of me still alive.
Full sail, my boys!
If you're not ready for my training, I'm not sure where else to send you. It takes real confidence to let a kid train you. I'm impressed.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist...
You do see these tusks, right? No hard feelings, right?
Pathetic. As spineless as a jellyfish.
The smaller the portions, the finer the meal. Shall I gift wrap it for you? You're a smart one for your size. Buyer's remorse never. Be remorseless.
Ride that tide! I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms. You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago. Next time, boys, less blunder, more plunder.
You've just taken the first step toward good take. Tell everyone you got it here. Whoever said money can't buy class had neither. I think that suits you beautifully.
Your dice aren't even custom? That's just sad. Aw, another bad roll.
My lessons are painful. Are you prepared? I do not teach art. I teach mastery over it.
Remember, diamonds come in small boxes. You want to buy that? I mean, excellent choice. Whoever said money can't buy class had neither.
Don't tell me Ford is your Smith. That guy is wrong. Tightened, tempered, oiled, and tuned.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
Few warriors live to retire. Buy my weapons, and you might. Use it well. Make me proud. Hey, when you carry my weapon, I fight alongside you.
What you looking at? Gotta hand it to you. You're good. Do you have any really small things?
This is a gift at any price.
It's smaller than Quixel.
Now this is how you win a war!
You seem lighter. I think you had a breakthrough.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms. My fight isn't with you, but if you insist... Defeat does not defeat me.
offer you a chance to outlive this world. I fight the inevitable.
Rally, men! Blades to the wind! Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun. We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies. Bring her about! I've got another salvo in me.
Just close your eyes and grab something. Hooey! Now that's a bargain. Well, you're doing your part to clean up the bazaar. Trash is tragedy. Reuse everything. Warms my rusty circuits to see that find a home.
waste of gunpowder.
I'm finished with fighting, but I can help you finish a fight. Enjoy the thrill of battle. Well, you can. Lufo teaches stillness. I prefer action.
Don't worry, mate. I'll look out for you. Don't go out at night round here, even with this on you.
Let's take the tyrant's whole kingdom!
When you're ready, I'll send you to Orlin. But I'll keep you as long as I can.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
I seek the ultimate secret. Will you get me any closer? You are merely a step on the ladder I must climb.
We've barely scratched the surface of the Outlands. Hey, you're a natural at this.
Give me the gold, and nobody gets hurt. I'm just trying to feed my family.
Any good fights lately? Oh, I do miss it. Go make some more stories, then come back and tell me.
Full sail, my boys!
I would promise to be here when you're ready, but I am very old. Soon, I think you will be ready for Adira's training.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago. My fight isn't with you, but if you insist... Like my crew says at the bar, another round!
It's not overpriced. You're overpoor. Typical! All browse, no buy.
If there's one thing I've learned from a life in the movies, it's how to turn silver into gold.
Ride that tide! You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Are you sure? Have you noticed I'm huge? You can learn a lot from losing.
Once, I was only a robot. Now, I am a droid again. You had no fire. Not even a candle.
My brother calls guns his friends. Well, my friends blow up! What are you? Bomb-proof?
Need to throw some things overboard.
Small items, small people. I love them all. Did you see it, Quicksilver? I made a sale! Oh, look. It's so tiny. Where's Midsworth? Oh, did he see me close a deal?
Now this is how you win a war! Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
I should warn you, I'm not like other Jabonians.
I believed in myself and I still lost.
Come on in. Let's chat. Now, if that doesn't work out for you, come back for a refund. Do you have to leave already? So, how about this weather where... Oh, you're leaving. That's good.
My battle days are over, but my weapons crave more. Nufo teaches stillness. I prefer action.
The dunes are waves on a sea of gold. Ah! Ah! Oh!
My colleague Curio may have what you need. Be well, and don't explode.
I am Roboid. I am free. And this is the life I choose. I don't care what you do with my weapons, as long as you appreciate them.
More raids, more bounty. We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies. I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms. I paint my ship red, but I don't use paint.
I have seen what you become. I show you but a glimpse of your potential.
Ships may sink, but I'm a good swimmer.
I would spar with you, but this leg. Oof. Enjoy the thrill of battle. Well, you can. Hey, when you carry my weapon, I fight alongside you. Use it well. Make me proud.
My food is gonna make me eat the bones for stronger bones. Yes, I will dance with you.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist...
I will leave you alive to learn the lesson. Please, share with me your secrets.
Size dilutes the brain. Mind is highly concentrated. Buyer's remorse never. Be remorseless. Shall I gift wrap it for you? I think that suits you beautifully.
Come, let's release our joy and rage. Ah! To be a dervish is to be free. Join us.
Well, good luck then. Temper, sharpen, reinforce.
Food is... Now that's a healthy diet.
Go ahead. Underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Why must we do this? Death laughs at us both. All change begins in the heat of the crucible.
If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. Remember, diamonds come in small boxes. You're a smart one for your size. Tell everyone you got it here.
Few warriors live to retire. Buy my weapons, and you might. Newful teaches stillness. I prefer action. Enjoy the thrill of battle. While you can. Go make some more stories, then come back and tell me.
a battle? Maybe a skirmish?
If you're not ready for my training, there's always Pip. I doubted a non-Sphinxian could learn that. Impressive.
Not very big though, is it? Fine, here's some gold.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies. You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago. You fall like a boulder. I flow like the waves. All of this is just training.